What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Ignorant Money Club. So today I'm going to be talking to you about my 5 top things that I think everyone and you should do before investing in the stock market and how to really get started investing in the stock market. So the first thing is deciding that the stock market is for you. You could be in a ton of things right now. You can be building an e-commerce business. You could be investing in real estate. So you really have to, think about what the stock market can offer for you and how you would like to use it to diversify your portfolio. The stock market can be a long-term game or it can be a short-term game. So that's one of the most important things. So the next thing you want to think about is your risk appetite. Me personally, I'm still in my 20s. I don't have any dependents. All I have to do is worry about my bills and everything else is free game. So that's something that you really want to consider. Traditionally, older people are not as risky because, they don't have as much time before they retire. But anyone who is still like in their 20s, 30s, you probably can be as risky as possible, taking into account that you don't have too many responsibilities or dependents. So that's something that I really like to see. I don't like to see people just holding on and hoarding money inside of a bank account, just sitting there doing nothing. But overall, you have to really consider how risky you are in the sense of what you're willing to lose or what you can afford to lose. So some people may not be able to afford to lose $10. So if you can't afford to lose $10, then don't put up $10 or don't invest $10 in the stock market. But if you can afford to lose it, then by all means go all in, because that's a key rule to invest in. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose, and that can help out with you making emotional decisions in the stock market. Number 3 on the list, you want to definitely find a good brokerage. And when I say a brokerage, I mean someone such as Robinhood or M1 Finance, Webull, someone that you can store your cash into, or some account that you can store your cash into, and you can rely on them to facilitate good transactions and make sure that your money is protected or your investment is protected. So me personally, I use a lot of different brokerages. You can have more than one, but personally, I recommend Robinhood. It's probably like the easiest one to get started with, and plus you get a free stock just for signing up. So check my link out if you want to learn more about that. And once you find that brokerage, it's best to just get cash loaded, because sometimes it can take days and it can take, more time than you would normally want to wait for your cash or your deposit to settle. So that's why you want to make sure the money is there. So when the investment opportunity happens, you're not waiting to try to transfer money from one account to the next. So this one, number 4, is probably the question that everybody has. Which company should I invest in? And I'll tell you, if anyone had the answer to that question, they would be the richest person in the world. It's always a battle and a challenge to figure out the next big thing, the hidden gem. And so one piece of advice that I can give you all, what I do is I really pay attention to my environment. I think about what do I spend a lot of my money on, or what do people that I know that are in my circle spend a lot of their money on. For example, I know that I go to Walmart, multiple times throughout the year. I know that I spend money on Amazon. I have an iPhone. I have multiple, Apple products. So that's something that you really have to pay attention to, because it might be a potential good investment. Because if Apple can convince you to buy an iPhone and they can convince everybody in your house to want an iPhone, what makes you think that they can't convince 100 million other people around the world to buy one as well? So that is something that you really, really need to, pay attention to. A lot of people think investing in the stock market is like, I gotta be this huge technical analysis person and I need to know the charts, and those things can help out with timing and, knowing when to get in a stock or something, in and out of a stock. But at the same time, it's just pure common sense. It's really a lot about psychology and behavior and knowing what people, if you know people and if you know how people will react to certain things, that can be very, very, very beneficial in investing in the stock market. So, if you're watching this video, take a second and jot down maybe like 5 to 10 stocks that you patronize, or 5 to 10 companies that you patronize, and think about actually looking into those to actually invest in the stock market, or invest in the stock market with those companies. So last but not least, you want to really get out there and get engaged. You want to either find you a mentor or just constantly be interacting with the community in the stock market. I pretty much am in a ton of GroupMe's, Discords, and it's a platform called StockTwit, which is my favorite. And think of like a Twitter for the stock market. You can look at your favorite company or favorite companies and pretty much interact and talk with people who love this company, or who are invested in this company on a daily basis. It's super active, and it's just a way to kind of find out, keep up on the news of that company, find out what's buzzing, and just like figure out what can be a potentially good next opportunity, and learn from the mistakes of others. So it's my favorite, and I would highly recommend everybody at least download the app if you're interested. But overall, you can't be swayed one way or the other. I highly recommend you to always do your research, because one day you can, get into a group and someone's talking good about a stock, and then you might have somebody who's speaking just as bad. And I've seen a lot of people react and make decisions, like poor decisions, just because of what somebody said in the GroupMe. So pay attention to those type of things and just control your emotions, and I promise you everything will work well for you while going through this journey. Overall, the stock market is definitely not as scary as some think it is. It's actually a great investment. I haven't found anything else where I can just consistently make money while I'm sleeping, do my research now, invest in it, and then wake up with, tons of more money in my account than what I originally had. So we just have to break the stigma of, Black people not investing in the stock market, or being afraid, or going out here and putting money back into the hands of the companies that pretty much slave drive you all day, and not necessarily be just as motivated to go out there and put your money into these companies and be able to generate more income. So those are just 5 tips that I want to give you today. I think that they can really set you up on a great start. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page, follow us on all our social media platforms, and we'll be back to you with the next video. Thanks, and everyone have a great day.